So I'm Liam Dunne. I'm one of 3 co-founders along with Satish and Mark of Klearcom. I'm CEO. I enjoy the variety, I think, as CEO. I'm just so lucky to work in the position I'm right now because we're not a startup, we're a scale-up. We're growing fast. So obviously more challenges, more complexities come with that. And I love the variety of those challenges every single day. Genuinely, no bullshit. Love challenges. So yeah, never bored. I always wanted to create a company that I'd actually love to work for. So culture. And there's a famous line from a marketing guru, culture eats strategy for breakfast. And it really does. Because if you have the right culture, everything else will be figured out. Because the people know that there's a certain way that we operate. You look at teams, whether it's rugby, soccer, hurling, you'll often hear them say there's a certain brand of style of how they play. Companies are no different, and if you can bake that in from the outset, it really does make sure that when it comes to challenges to scaling companies, you'll figure them out and move on. So the culture of what we have in Klearcom, we call it the Kayla. It's everybody together. We've got certain culture statements throughout that, like be resourceful, be obsessed about the customer and the problem we solve, making stuff happen, or in the sales team they say make shit happen. All that culture about being resourceful, and ultimately I suppose we've got a no bullshit culture. And there's a really amazing book called Legacy by James Kerr, and it kind of distills the All Blacks culture, and one of their key statements was no dickheads. And I just liked the directness of that, and it's something that we as a team, and when Mark and Satish and I got together and decided we were going to put something together, you know, the very first thing we did is we didn't do product, we didn't do target market, we did culture first. And our very first presentation from us sitting down together was actually all about the culture of our company we're going to create. And then from that, we had multiple ideas, and obviously we landed on what we do now. But we always believed in that and genuinely do. So ultimately what inspired me, I suppose, was the opportunity to create a company that I would truly want to work for myself. Right, I'm going to describe the problem we solve in terms of the what, how, why. I love the Simon Sinek model. I'm a big proponent of what he does. So what we do is we test and validate global communications, so toll-free numbers down into IVRs, speech, DTMF, make sure they're working for multinationals. How we do it is we've built an amazing app, and Satish's team have done a groundbreaking app, and Mark has built this global coverage that allows us to do it in 100+ countries. But why we do it is ultimately our customers. So you take your Mastercards, your Googles, your Fiservs and Visas and so on. These customers can't see outside their own corporate network, okay? So they rely on the end user to tell them when there's issues, and that's not a good thing. So as a result, you're going to get churn, okay? And according to Accenture, the switching economy, it's over $1 trillion. People don't complain, they switch. So why we do what we do is to help our customers, those multinationals, basically uncover blind spots, get benchmarks in terms of performance globally, and ultimately prevent churn due to poor delivery of technical services and unknown downtime costs. So it's a huge value in this competitive world that we work in. And as each generation moves into the key decision-making roles, churn and switching becomes more prevalent because consumers of everything nowadays have higher expectations. So it's important that our end customers can provide greater and more stable communications and make sure it works. But ultimately, we ensure the phone lines ring, that the voice bots talk back when they're being engaged, and ultimately if there's any issues, get a real-time alert globally. So it's invaluable in terms of helping our customers deliver services globally. I always use my kids in this because my kids are quite discerning and they like to challenge me a lot, you know. So when I explain to them that basically we've got a clever customer sitting in every country, and that customer is ringing into the voice bot or the IVR, making sure it works. And if it doesn't work, our clever customer is going to tell our corporate customer there's an issue and tell them where it is. And really that sums it up, you know, in terms of if my kids get it, 14 down to 7, and they're all able to go, yeah, that makes sense, happy days. I've explained it well, I think. One of the big things was the culture of companies in the market weren't listening to customers. And that's nearly like it's a cliche at this stage, but genuinely, sometimes when companies get really big fast, they lose the essential element of what got them there, okay? So we could see that the market was going to look, let me step this back. There's 2 big changes happening in the market. As it stands now, you've got IVRs, which are DTMF based, press 1 for sales, 2 for support, 3 for accounts. That's about to change. So there's a paradigm shift with conversational AI. So we're going to move into that next phase. So we could see that that was coming. When we were deciding about what we would do, we'd done deep research in the market. We were looking at actually 2 other applications. We were looking at WebRTC call center application. We were looking at doing an actual voice bot itself. So we saw that the market was going to change, that there was a need to do non-intrusive audio quality testing, but also was going to be a major migration to conversational AI and speech-based IVRs. So we built the application to solve that need, because nobody had built the capability to test and validate speech IVRs using personas in the local market, because there's a big difference between the lab and the real world. So everybody's focused on training the LLMs. So what we decided to focus on is seeing, does the reality match the performance? And in country, when at that key moment when a voice call is going to happen, does the voice quality impact the intent at the same time? And ultimately, does the voice bot work? And that's why, that was the understanding, that was the key understanding. And from detailed market research with hundreds of multinationals. I see myself as very hands-on, right? I really see myself as team captain. So I'm not in the dugout, I'm on the field. And I'm not just calling the shots, I'm participating. So I think it's important that for me is everybody sees that anything that we're looking to do as a company, top down, bottom up, left to right, everybody's in it and all in it. And we have a huge hunger and desire to be the world's largest at what we do and to solve the problem better than anybody else while providing the best tech and the best service. So I suppose I find I'm probably the chaperone of that, or I'm wearing the captain's armband and making sure everybody's in position and we're moving forward to that goal. Before we started Klearcom, we were lucky enough to do the NDRC, which is a national startup accelerator. And during that process, we'd done tons of market research and we did a couple of different projects. And it became clear that nobody in the market was solving the forthcoming problem around speech IVRs. And everybody had asked us, could we do it? So we decided at that stage, well, if everybody's asking and nobody can do it, we'll build it. Simple as that. Success is about moving forward and not standing still and being constantly innovative. And success isn't an end point, it's a journey. It's cliched, I know, but it's the truth, right? And kind of, I look to measure success and failure because they're 2 opposite sides. And if I was to say failure to me is not falling short. It's genuinely about not giving it all. When we look at what we're doing every day, when we look at the team, I myself, leadership, and everybody in the company, and I ask that simple question, are we giving it all to solve that problem, to service that customer, to R&D, to figure out the next problems that need to be solved? And if we are, to me, that is the definition of success.